While the COVID pandemic dealt Nigeria's aviation sector a heavy blow, it cannot serve as an eraser for the crisis that bedeviled the already ailing sector pre-COVID. Post-pandemic, its tale of woes continue, from policy misfires, a silent national carrier, frayed international relations, to the current energy crisis rocking the sector.
The last to quit is always aviation. You want to move refugees and whatever. Every aspect of life affects this sector. And in the third world, like Nigeria, government has not helped matters. Instability in government, lack of proper people, the round pegs in square holes and things like that. And when you take a mechanic to go and oversee an engineering workshop, the job of a mechanic and an engineer differs.
At the peak of the energy crisis, airline operators feared that most airlines might close shop owing to their inability to sustain operations. The aviation sector is no stranger to bailouts from the federal government, but this time liquidity was needed in a different form: aviation fuel, the license to import, and the immediate availability of jet fuel.
I think that was just a misguided attempt by the industry. You can't import fuel more efficiently than the cartels that control that business. So if you think you're going to get a license and get the product cheap from the same people like distributing the products in this economy are the ones producing that in the other economy. So unless we actually solve the problem within our own economy, there is no real benefit to an oil import license for the airline industry.
While the product is available for the right price, which has doubled, petroleum marketers do not deem airline operators credit-worthy for supply to keep business running and air tickets low. The passengers are at the receiving end, paying more for less.
Aviation fuel in Nigeria over the last 30 years or so, the airlines have been shouting that it is the highest out of all the hydrocarbons. In the rest of the world, it is the cheapest because aviation consumes more. Imagine a flight Lagos-Abuja, 4,000 liters on 1 hour flight. How many cars would that fill? 4,000 liters. So we consume volume. And any business that drives volume, price goes down. But here, we drive volume, price goes up. All indices of economics doesn't work in Nigeria.
Well, when you add all these factors, cost of capital, cost of debt, cost of operations, cost of materials to fund your operations, the cost of labor, the revenue, the income of your customers, obviously you can't make any money. You're already operating in a low-margin business, and in that low-margin business, the profit level is maybe 5, if you look globally, 5 to 10%. Meanwhile, your costs, you're talking about 9 times the cost of this, 900% of that, 700% of the other. So obviously, the numbers are going to turn out negative, and that's the result. And nobody is going to lend money to a perpetual borrower who is unable to pay.
For airline operators, the impact is more. Aero contractors joined the list of airline operators to shut down operations, although it says it's a temporary measure for maintenance. Recently, Dana Air suspended operations to undergo full operational audit, but a release from the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority says otherwise. The decision followed an audit which revealed that Dana Airline is no longer in a position to meet its financial obligations.
Challenge remains that it's a very high capital demand area with extremely high costs associated with the operations. And the market is such that the availability of capital is not at par with what we have in many other countries of the world. If you look at countries in Europe or America, you have single-digit interest rates. Here we have multi-digit at the end of the multi-digits range. And so if you look at that cost of operation, which is the source from which the airline gets its capital to operate, it's extremely high. Think about it. In the US now, you can get 2 to 3% interest. In Nigeria, you're over 20%, 18 to 20%. So you're paying close to 10 times higher cost of capital, which is the money you need to operate.
With no solution in sight, and in the face of the current economic situation, Nigerians may have to pay more to keep airline operations afloat. Oni Sunday, Arise News.